All right, my friend, we're good to go. Yes, sir. Go ahead and give your instructions. No numbers on it.
Sir, you're on the other side.
Sir.
That takes up for a reason. Go for the Camry, guys. Go for the Camry. It will be sold. Go for the Camry parking lot.
Good luck, sir. I'm right here with you. That's not the end.
Go for the Camry, guys. It's going to be towed in about 5 minutes.
Hey guys, welcome here to Keystone Point, our weekly Thursday evening auction. My name is Ron. If you have any issues during the sale, let us know, and I'll get you back on track as best I can. Do keep in mind that we are a tow company. If you're asked to move your vehicle, I would suggest you move it. If you have a gold-colored Camry car, I would suggest you move it, because if you don't want to move it, we'll move it for you. We have tow trucks, we have forklifts, so use your best judgment here. All right, just keep in mind, we do sell everything that says this condition, exactly the way it came into the yard. No guarantees, warranties of any kind, either expressed or implied, as to the make, the model, the year, the color, and anything else, all right? So what you see is what you get. That's why we have inspection time for you to come in, take a look at the vehicles, and you can make an informed decision as to what you wish to pay. All vehicles are sold on lien sale paperwork unless they pay otherwise, in which case you will be a title to it for half the salvage title. Cars that come in with keys, we do not charge for those. Yes, sir.
Yo, I didn't say it in Spanish.
Was that gold-colored Camry still out there? Yeah, a gold-colored Camry. A gold-colored Camry. You got less? You got 2 minutes. You got less than 2 minutes to move it.
Yeah, here we go.
We're going to run pounded. All right? All right. Okay. All right. Like I said, cars that come in with keys, we don't charge for those, so we have to make a key in order to start a vehicle by that charge will be added on to your purchase price. And we also collect a 10% parking tax that gets added on, and the platform fee as well. Okay, so we keep all those fees in mind as we go through the auction here. Okay, let's see here. I don't think we have any 10-day holds coming out. No 10-day holds, so everything should go out the door. All right. Be patient with us, guys. If you're trying to get your car tonight and we can't get it unburied out there, but come back tomorrow morning. Between the hours of 8 and 12 noon, 8 and 12 noon, online people are welcome and all. All right, you can come in tomorrow morning as well, pay at 8 o'clock, and you'll get the 12 noon as well. To get your vehicles out. All you guys that are on site, bidding right here. As soon as we say sold in a car, we need you to stand up out of your chair, come up to the window, where you're registered, and complete the transaction, okay? All right, anybody have any questions? I know a lot of you are first timers here, that's okay, we welcome that. We do have online bidding, and that's why we have a TV monitor out here, and just ask if you pay attention, bid the right car the first time, right? Because you're responsible, so as soon as you sold on that car, that becomes your vehicle, all right? That's the way the law works. Hey, wake up, no sleeping on the job. Okay, I think we should be good to go, guys. So let's go to work number one. Here we go with the 20, 10, got a 4, lean 150. I'm at nice man. Third door, how to make it straight to the line, to the pound side. We said 5, 6, 7, 8, 800. 75, 8, 8, 8, numero uno. And we now have $9,500 and $1,000 to go here, and a house over here, 1,111. How about 11, he's 10.5 over here. I need 11, 11 online, now how? How about 11, quarter, maybe 2 quarter? Quarter now has 35. How about 75, and 75, $1,200. How about 400? You're gonna get 20, you're gonna get 20, you're gonna get 12, not quarter, no, 75. How about 75? You're gonna go 75, now 13. How about 13? Now quarter here, you get quarter, what do you say? Now a half, and a half, and 75. Now 14. How about 14? 14, 13, 75 here. And 14, now quarter here, you get quarter, now a half, now 75. How about 75? I got 75. And 15, we're gonna go 15, not quarter, and a half, and 75, a half. Okay, 16, sir. 16, 15 and a half, 16, no half, 16 and a half. How about a half? 16 and a half, 17, no half. How about a half? Your turn again. 17 and a half. No way again. Give me half. 18 and a half, 19. How about 19 and a half? 19 and a half, 19, 15, is that a yes or no? I got 19, 150, no, two grand, no half. How about half? I got 2,000 right there. You want a half? 20, 50, 21. How about 21, 21, right here. We got half, now 2. And 2, 22, 21 and a half, 22 and a half, 22 and a half, 22 to the back. How about 22, 150, you're gonna go 50, 50, not 30, 23. And 3 here, 23 here, I'm gonna go 3 down here. I do. 23? No, half. 23 and a half, 23 is up here. How about 23, that's 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, 23, 150, 50, 50, and we sold the time right here. For $2,300. Yeah, let's see. What's your number? On the other side there. Guys, no lead time, okay, we got a lot of fun. 46, and have your business already for me, don't 46, right, here's you come up. Here's number 2, here's a little time, got 100 CBO, 600 miles, $500. We'll get $500. 1350, that's even better. How about 14? I have 1375, 14. How about 14?
14.
And 15. And 15, you're gonna go 15, 15, 15, now how about half? I got 15 over here, gonna have over here, 16. How about 16 and a half, 17 and a half, 18. How about 18? We're outside of 17 and a half, 18. Let's go 18, 18 and a half, 18, 50. 50, 19 and a half, 19, 50. Come on, guys, let's go. A bit like a leads. 19 and a half, 19 here by the door. 1950, 50, 50, sold in by the door. It's already gone. Sold. I told you, don't bid like old leads. $1,900, $20 in there. 27, okay, come on, please. 27, here's number 3. Here's number 3, 5. $4, not in that, figure on, what about 90 here, 90 another, $1,000. I got 3, 75, 4, get 4. How much was it out in the quarter, give me quarter. How about quarter, down here, we have solar panels. $400 under 60 inch about a week. 4, here's the 20, that's mine. All right, $400, it's with the run of time. I'm gonna go there, $5 How about 5, 4, we're gonna have 4. And 4 and a half, and a 5 and a half, no 6, and a half, no 7, and a half, 7 and a half, 800. If you would 7 and a half, I need 80. How about 75? That's 75? Okay, 8 and a quarter and a half. 8 and a quarter is on site. 8 and a 15, we're going to go 50, 50, we have a 50, 50, and we have now 75. 875, 8 and a half on the line. 875, no 9, no quarter, no quarter and a half, no 75. I'm at 75. You got 75?
75?
Okay, 1,000, now you're off. Of 1,000, I'm raising, I'm 75,000, and that's over time. You got 1,000, not quarter, not quarter, not quarter. That's the good repeat first, right? That's 10, quarter, so it's $1,000, repeat first. Okay, here we go, number 5. Here's another one, number 7, yes, so fast. That's the thing, I'm gonna leave it up. I got paid for the call and the call is pretty sad. How much we're gonna hang in your time? How much we're gonna go 50, 50, you go 50, 50, 50, so that's 25, number 65, number 6, that's number 3. Here it is. Right? So you go around here, 800. Quarter. How much we're gonna quarter, you wanna quarter half outside, now 75. And 4. How about over here, it's 375, take 4. How about forward now, quarter, and now quarter, now half, and 75, now 5. How about another 4, 75, how about 9, the 40, 25, gotta go back 25, 5 here, 4 here, half here. How about half over here, now 75, and 6, and a quarter, 6 there, 6 in this. How about 6 and a quarter, 6 and a quarter, 6 and a quarter, now half. How about half? You guys moved up. So are you. How about 650? You're gonna go 50, 50, 650, so the time 625. Here you are, 7. It's on 2 Mercedes. That's 430. Right? What about 800? I bet 30. 35. 75. You're gonna go 75. 31 already. 4 and a quarter half. 75. How about 475, you go 75, 75 and a quarter. And a quarter is used in the 5, 5 and a quarter, 5 outside. How about 5 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, down here, be quarter, half, 75. How about 75? Come on, let people, let's go. 5, 75, what's he doing? I got 5 and a half, 75 here, so on one side. At 550, number 8 is my car, number 8 is. Okay. Number 9, 9, 30 the quarter. How much are the quarter? I already have 30 the quarter, hey, we're going up, not down. How much are the quarter, and the quarter, now half, 50, 75 here, over, 100, now, not 4, 3, 75, 4, and not quarter, now half. How about 4 and a half, 75? And 75, 5 on the line, now quarter. How about a quarter, share, now half. How about half fast? How about a quarter's over here? How about 50, you gotta go 50, 50, how about 50 over here, no 75, and 6, quarter, 6 and a half, 75, now 7, and 7, now quarter, 1 quarter, and a quarter, so yes or no? A quarter, okay, and a half. He's 725, 750, 50, 50, no 75, return 75, now eat. How about the ET down here, 70, 75, $800. How about they get down here, 800, 800, down here, so in the front row for 7, I don't know, 190, 199, here we go. There's a high Chevy Silverado, those wrong, salvage type of house. How about time to go? Next step, next work. I got 7, 7.5, 8.5. 8.5, 9.5, 15,000 a half. 11.5, 12.5, 13.5, 14.5, 15.5, 16.5, 17.5, 18.5, 19.5, 22.5, and 1. And 2 now, 3 now, 3, 20, 3, 20, 3, 24, 25, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, 21, 29, about a half, 28 and a half, I got 20 over here.
28.
Yes, sir. Half on mine, 29, 29, fix 20 and a half up here. I'm about 29 to 9, 29, I'm gonna go down silver tank. At 28.50, here comes an old 6. It's a, let's say it's our 30 model here, overall. What do you do? Maybe I'll take a little less stretch. How about 5, 3, 3 and a half, 4. How about four? How about 75? We're gonna go through 75, 75, 75, 75, and I sold. That's 3.5. What about number six? There's a 99. You make it 7. How much is it about? 3.25. How much is it about? 3.20. How much is it about? 3.25. Here and a half. And a half. Like 3.25. 3.5. Yeah. I got a quarter already. 3.5. Wake up. 75. 4. How about 4? We're gonna go 4. The option slant. Gotta wake up. 3.75. 4. We're gonna go 400 here. The silver tank. 3.75. Number. Number 12. Isn't that good? All right? And then, so you're around, hey, you're right, right? Who's dead? 3.5. 3.5, 4. All right, 4. 4.5, 5. And a half. And 6. And a half. And 7. And a half. And 8. You're gonna go 8 now, half. 8.5. Now 9. How about 9? 9 now, half. I got a half now, so I was 8. And now, half. How about a half? That's a 50 here in the quarter. Half quarter now, half. I got a half of 75, I got a 75, now 11, 1100, and a quarter, 1125, and a half, 11 and a half, 11 and a half. What's this thing on? 12. How about 12? Now half, 12 and a half, double sigma. And now 13. How about 13? 13, now half, give this thing on. How about 13, 150, 14, 14, and 14, now half, 14, 50. Give me half. 14 and a half. 1,450, 50, 50, and I sold it. Then over here at $1,400. What's your number? 1175. It's your online number. 1175. All right, we'll put 1175. What did I do here? 1175. Okay. You get me in trouble. I'll be looking for you. Here's number 13. Here we go. Here's a 2010. This on gold. Hey, you told me go. How many? What do you do? Who got about 1,000? I got down to go 5. 500 bucks. 375. Take 4. How about 4? We're going to go $400 here. We're going to go 4. We're going to go 4. Not 4. Now half. Let us have 450, guys. How about 450, 50, 450? You're out. 450 right here. You're 75. Now 5. How about 500 bucks? Hey, what's me? Right here, 5? How about 500? 500 here, we find now 4.5. And a half, 550. 550, hey, speak first, your turn. How about 550, 50, we're going to 75, we're going to go 75, say 600. How about 6, hey, versus now. How about 6, 600, we're going to go 600, 600, and we sort of thing. 575, number 6. All right, here go number 14, here's a 2012. Hey, all right, quarter good paper, some type guys. How about time to go? Time to go? I got 500 bucks. 5, 5, 6. How about 6? You're gonna do 6. I got 5 right there. I need 6. You really need 6. 7. How about 7? 8. How about 8 here? Here we go. How about 8 here? Give me half down. I got 7 outside. How about 750 here? Then you here 50 here. 9, 9 here. You're gonna go $900 here. Now half. Quarter. Now half. How about half? 9 and quarter. 9 and a half. How about 950, 50, 75 now, $1,000 now, quarter, do you need it, what do you say, 10 and a quarter, 10 and a half. How about 100, 50, 50, you're gonna go 55, 15, you're gonna go 50, 50, 50, and we, no 75, no 75, 11, how about 11, 11, you're gonna give me 11, 11 here, hey, come on guys. How about 11, here's getting hot. How about 11, 11 down here, nice, some right there. 1,075, yes, sir. 1,075, phone number. He's got the phone over there. He's got number 99. Is that right? 99. This is my, Quarter about a minute. Ooh, fine. I got two to the party. I got two to the bed. Two to the quarter, and a quarter, two to the quarter. A quarter, half, not a half. I guess you move your cards around, but I'm gonna take you as a bid. Okay, be careful. I got two to the quarter, two and a half, so we can't. 245, under 6 years of buy, right? Next other 6. Now, pretty good. I'm looking at the card, ask for side by side, what do you do? What's in that one? I'm gonna go find up here, ready, take it apart. I got the ready, taking a quarter, now how? I got a hand, that's 75. You gotta go 75, 375, 4. How about 400? 400, you're gonna go 400, 400 and a quarter. And the quarter, yeah, quarter on mine, now half. How about a half, 4.5, 475, you gotta go 75, 500, your turn. How about $500, 475, 5, 0, need a quarter. I do, 5 and a quarter, here, need a quarter, be a quarter now. Now 75. How about 75? We're gonna go for 75, 75, 600, 6, now a quarter. How about 6 and a quarter? Now a half, 650, you're gonna go 50, 50, 50, and that's 75. How about 675? How many 6 and a half? 675 here, now 7. Now 7, not quarter. How about quarter here, around quarter now a half, 7 and a half. How about 75? We're gonna go 75, 75, 7 and a half, 75, 8. How about $800, now a quarter. How about quarter, 8 on site, 8 and a quarter. And a quarter, now here we have soda tank for $800, $800 number. And here's number 17. Right here, we'll have 14, only 14. Mitsubishi Outlander, quarter automatic sugar around here in how about $100? I got 3, 3.5, 4, and a half, and 5, and a half, and a half, and 6, and a half, and 7, and a half, and 8. How about 8 and a half, and 9, and a half, and 1,000, and a half, and 11, and a half, a half. Not 12, and 13, and 14, 14, and a half, 15, right here, and a half, 16, and a half. How about 16, 50? And 15, you're gonna go 50, 15, and 17, 17, 17, and now a half. How about half? We can make it 17, 17 and a half. 17, how about 50? You're gonna go 50, and 50, 50, 50, and we shoulder cam over here. 1,700, yes, sir. 36 to buy, right? Car. All right, guys. So you can go to the middle. Here we go. Actually, we're around here, so I was thinking, we would have how many we do, $900. How about $500? You got 5, you said 3, 3.5. I got 3 and a quarter. I got 3, 3 and a quarter, 1 and a quarter. And you can do now, now 75. How much 75? We're gonna go 75, this is the back, that's all, 75 there, 4, and a quarter, and a half. I got a hundred here, 50, 15, 75, a pound, and a quarter, need a quarter, now a half, and 75 here, 600. How about 600 here, 600, mine's over here, 575, 6. How about 600, 609, silver tank, 4, 5, 75. We start there, all 9, we start 19, open up on the second car. Next, we're gonna run here, so we start. Hey, you get about 800, how about $800, $400? How about 3, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter. I got 3 and a quarter half, 75, 4, good 4, good 4. I got 4, not quarter, now, 50, 50, I'm gonna go 50 now, 75, 500. How about 5, again? I'm a 5 now, a quarter, I'm 5 here, need a quarter, now half. How about half? How about quarters off there? Half over here, now 75, and now 6. How about 6? We're gonna go 6, now a quarter, 6 and a quarter, quarter, you guys are both up. How about 6 and a quarter, 6 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, quarter down here, nice. Quarter, half, 75, and 7. Yeah, it gives good like old ladies. The old, the internet's gonna get you that, 7, 7 and a quarter. 7 and a quarter, 7 and a half, 7 and a half. And now 75, now 800. I'm about to hit another 70, 75 here, I need 8. I'm about to hit another 800 here, my silver tank. 775, what about number 8? Here's card. 80, you got 175, 4, not those, no, what do you say? $800. I got 3, 3 and a quarter. Quarter, half, 4 and a half, 5 and a half, and 6. I got 6 and a half, 3 half, and 7. 75, 7 and a quarter, and a half. 75, 8, 800. Now we 8 and a quarter, and a half, and 75, and so yeah. 75, 1,000 and a half, 11 and a half, and a half, 11 outside, 11 and a half, a quarter, half, and a half, 75. How about 75, 11 and a half over here, 11, 75, 1200 and a quarter. And a quarter yards, we got 12 and a half, they all 75, you gotta go 75. 75, 13, 13 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, I got 13, 13 and a quarter. How about quarter, and a quarter here, 3/4 half the paper something, a half, 75. How about 75, 13 and a half on site, 13, papers, yeah. 13, 75, we're gonna go 75, then we sold them on site. And 13, 50, 13, 50, 133 divided. On the fourth guy, hey, what about 900? How about 900 bucks? Great, so you're gonna have four. How about four? 75 four, good four, good four and a half. And then 75, we're gonna have 450. What do you say? 450, well, yeah, 75, now five, and a quarter. And a quarter, five back here, a quarter, now a half, now 75, now six, now a quarter. And a quarter right here, now half, 6 and a half. How about a half, you're a quarter. I need a half, yes or no, that's 75. How about 75, 7? How about 7, you're gonna go 7, 6, 75. How about 7, you're gonna go 7, a quarter here, half here, 7, 50. 50, minus 7 and a quarter, 7, another 15, you're gonna go 50, 50, right here, 75, now 800, not quarter, not half. What half? 8 and a half, now 875. 875, minus up front, 8 and a half, 75, 9. How about 9, 8, 75, but I can be 9. How about 900, and a quarter here, 900, need a quarter. You got a quarter?
900.
I got 9, that's okay. How about 9 and a quarter here, a quarter here, 9, one sort of thing right here. 4, 900, another, 900. Over there. 69, 69, look the window. Here's 2013, hey. Here, what about 9? I 6 and a half and 7. But I got 12 and a half, 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half, 13 and a half. How about a half? A quarter, now half. So we're gonna get there, it's 14 and a half, 15. How about 15 and a half, and 16 and a half. How about a half, and 16, 16 and a half, 17. How about 17, we're gonna go 17 and a half. I got a half on site, 18. How about 18? How about 18? You 17 and a half. 18? I did. How about 18? 18 on mine. Now half. 18 and a half. 19? You want 19? What do you mean? No. I got 18 and a half already. 19. We're going on my down. You missed your turn. I'm looking at your phone. 19. Now half. See, don't look at your phone. Just watch me. 19. 19 and a half. Half. What half? And 2. How about 2? Mine's 19 and a half. I got it right there to the door. How about 2? We're gonna get 2. We're gonna get 2 grand, 2 grand, solar tank. 1950, 1950. 59 is on the side, all right? And here's 23. There we go. Here comes 2013. Share the line comes, huh? How about 5 to go? 5 to go. We're gonna go 5 bucks an hour. You said 4, 4 and a half, 5. No, and 6. And a half. He says, 7 and a half. And 8. How many? 8, 9, 8, 50, 9, 9, we're going 9, 9, here, what do you say? And a half outside, now 1,000. And a 1,000 go, and a half, 50, I can't see. You want a half? I got 10 and a half. I got 10 and a half, 11 and a half, and 12. How about 12 and a half? 12 and a half, 13 and a half, 13 and a half, 14. 14, now, 15 and a half, and 16, and a half, 18, 17, and a half, 18, 18, 17 and a half, 18 and a line, and a half, and a half, not even a half, 19 and a half, and 2. How about they're gonna go 19 and a half, 2 grand here, and a half. I got a half on now 2 and a half. How about a half again, 3 here, 23, and a half, 4, let it go 4, now half, and 5, 25, 25, and now half, 25, 50, let it go 50, 50, 50, 18, 30, no, 25 and a half, 6, 26 and a half, 7, let it go 7, I'm at 7, now half, and 8, I'm at 20, 80, let it go 800, now half, 50, 50, let it go 50, 50, he's done. 9, let it go 9, 1, 9, half. I got a hand, 3 grand. How about 3, you're gonna go 3 grand, you're gonna go 3, you want to again? That's 3 grand, now 1, how about 31, money 3, 31. How about 31, you're gonna go 1, now 2, 32. How about 32, 33, 34, you're gonna go 4, 5, 35 another. How about 35, 34 here, 35, you're gonna go 5, 6. How about 36, 36 another, 36, what do you say? 35, 36, all right. Nope, so. At 3,500 online, put that one for 35, okay? And here we go, let's see here. There you're gonna give me 2, 2 How much is a quarter? You got 2, 2 It'll fall shut, don't worry about it, quarter, half. Half, I got 2 half, 75, 23. And 3, you're gonna get 300 and a quarter here, so I get a quarter and a quarter and a half. I do, and 15, you're gonna go 50, 50, that's 75, I'm gonna not do, right? But 400, not 4, well, yeah, I got 4, not 4. A quarter, and a half, 4 and a quarters over here, 450 here, now 75. How about 75, you're gonna go 75, 4 and a half up front. 475, 75, 500. I do, yes, sir. About 5, you're gonna go 5, and a quarter here, half, 4 and a half, 5 and a half, 5 and a quarter, 5 and a half. Now 75. How about 75, you're gonna go 75, and now 6. How about 6? See, I told you, how about 6? Now, quarter. And that quarter 6 here, 6 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, quarter here, so at 600 online. Here's number 25, 7 miles to 3. 800. How about taking about how about $400? 4, 3, 3 and a half, 3 and a half, 75. How about 375? We're gonna go 75, we're gonna go 75, 75, 75, so the time, it's already gone. Double sleep, wake up. 3 and a half, number 6, tomorrow, you sold that one. Here's number 26, number 16. Over how many, should have run with those runs, how about 2, let's see. How about 2, 1,000, 11. How about 11 here, 11 here, I get 1,000 here, 11, 1, 12 here, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16, I got 15 here. 16, 16, 17, 18, 19, 3 grand. And 2, and 1, 21, 22. How about 2, now 3, better go 3, now 4, now 5, now 5, 6, and 7, now 8, 28, and 8, and 9, 3 grand. And 3, better go 3 grand, 3 grand, now 1, 31, 32. How about 32, money's over here, 31, you want 2? How about 32, you want 2, okay, now 3. How about 32, you get back, 32, 33, 33, better go 3, better go 3. 32 online. 3, 4, 5, 35, 34, 2, 35, get it all. How about 35, 35, 5, 6, 35 online, 6 on site, 7. How about 7, 37, you're 36, 37. How about 37, you're 7 online, now 38, now 9. How about 39, Coach Church, wake up. How about 39? How about 39? How about 39 here, 4 grand, 4 and 1. How about 41? I have 4 here, 41. How about 41, 41, 41, we're gonna go 1 here, nice, they on site for 4 times and even, and what's your number here? Quickly, what's your number? Okay. You said, let's go. 80 bucks in each other, $2 on your time. I got time to go 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, now 1,000. I got a half, now 1,000. I got 1,000, now half. Here now, 1100, now high. 1100, call, 50, 50, and 13, and 13, and a half, 14, about 14, and a half, 14, and a 50, and the back row of 14, I got a quarter, now high, now 75, 15, and a half, and now 16, 16, 15, half right there, about 16, gonna be 16, gonna be 16, and no, 16 and a half, you jump in at 16, 16 and a half, 16 up here, you got a half right there, 17, 17 and a half, your turn, 17 and a half, now 18, 18, 18 and a half, your turn again, 18 and a half, 19, you're gonna go 19 and a half, how about half there, 19 over here, how about 19, how about 15, you gotta go 50, 50, 19, how about 50, and 50, and we're going to summertime. For $1,900, you can get this number. All right, so one. I put the photo and it goes title. They will give me about 800. They have about 2 and a half ways. How about you said they found out enough ways in the quarter? I got 3 over here, 3 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, half, about 75, and quarter, 400. How about over here, and 4 times, and a quarter, over here, and quarter, half. How about a half, for 50, and 75, we're gonna go 75, 475. How about 475, we're gonna go 475, 475, 75, here, and I saw it over here. For $450, and we're 1, 2, 3, 9, let's see here. Oh, yeah, the whole two Chevy Sliver guys. Time to go. How about $500? $400. 3 to 4. I got $500, see the better, Chevy, first day, to the 4 and a half. How about 175, 75, 675. 75, right here, there's no 700. And a quarter, here, 7 on 9, 7 a quarter. How about 7 a quarter, 8 a quarter, what do you say, 7 a quarter, and a half. Not a half, you said quarter. I need a half, a half, 75, now 800. Now 8 on 9, not quarter. A quarter guys, I got to do that too, let's move on. How about an 825, 825, 825, 800 online, 800. Hey, this is okay, thank you. Here's number 30, no 6, that's it, who's there? What do you do here? Hey, you get $5 how about 3, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half, yes, sir, it is. It's over 325, number 60, July, or you. It's a, that's not, okay, talking about a quarter and a half, and 75, and 4 and a quarter, and a half, and 75, and a 5, 500, and a quarter, and a half, and 75, and 6, and a half, and 7. About 7, you're gonna go 7 here, and a half, 7 and a half, now 8, and the weight, money's right here in the corner, 7 and a half, 8, 8 and a half. How about a 50 outside, no 9. How about 9 here, 9 and a half, 9 here, 875?
You're at 850, right?
Yes, sir. 875, no 9. How about 9? Where's the 9? Money's 875. Take 9, eh? 9, not 40. And if there's no half, how about a half? That's 75. How about 75? We're going to go 975, 975, pounds, and dollars, pound, quarter. What do you say? We're 50. And that's 50, 75. We're going to go 75, 75. Take 75. How about 75? We're going to go 75 here and 11, 11 and a quarter. And a quarter, 11's over here, 11 a quarter. How about quarter? A quarter. A beer city, huh? 11 a quarter. A quarter, then I'm selling outside. At 1100, from number 8, wire. 32. All right, 4. I'm not very quarter here, it's not that bad. I got 30, 30 a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, 10, 50. I got 30, 30 a quarter, and a half, I got 15, gonna go 50, 50, 350. I'm like, we're gonna go 15, gonna go 50, 50, 50, you're out, no, so, 30 a quarter, number 16, Samaya, right? Number 33. A whole big shield, That's 60. All right, so they're around here, they, he says three and a quarter. How about 3 and a quarter? He likes to be quarter, half. How about half? Yeah, your turn. How about 315? 3 and a quarter here. 315, you're gonna go 50, not 75. How about 75? Here's now four hundred, say, 375 here. I need four, I'm gonna go 4, I'm gonna go 400 here. So 375, number 6 is, I think we got number 34. People say, guys, okay, 400, so we're right here. How about four? What about, she said 3 and a quarter. How about 3 and a quarter? It's a little 6 miles. 3 and a quarter. How about 4 and a quarter here? Again, you 3 and a quarter. What do you say? 3 and a quarter, quarter here. No, summertime. Hey, $300. How about number 6? The value here, so we can. Right? So we're both on the other side, everybody's in there. Now, you want to, we had a bunch. They had a bunch. I got 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter, what do you do? Half, 75. How about 75? 75, 400, not 4. How about 4? Not 4, not 75, not 5, not quarter. I'll get 5 over here. How about 5 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, now a half, now 75. 75, I have right here, 75, now 6. How about 6? 600, 6 and a quarter. And a quarter. Over here, 6 and a quarter. How about 6 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a half, and over here, 15, 650. How about 650, you're gonna go 50, 650, summertime, 625, number 6 tomorrow. I'm going to go number 36, that's a 14, okay. I'm going to go 14, so I'm going to do let's see here. Sit up on maybe the 27, push it here, push it there. Read. All right. You don't like that one, huh? I got 3, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a half, 75, and 3. Sir, you understand the car's beat up, right? I got 3. I got 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half, 3 and a half, now 75, now 400, now a quarter, and a half on 75. 5. And a half, 5 and a quarter, 5 and a half, 75. Now 6, how about 6, 600, you got 6? I got 6. 6, now a quarter, and a quarter, half, 75. Yes, sir. 75 there, 7, not quarter. Everyone cited 7. 7 and a quarter, okay, now 75. How about 75? I got it. 75, there it is, 8, now a quarter. I got 8 here, 8 and a quarter. 8.5 now, 8 and a half, then go 75, we're gonna go 75. 875, I'm solve, 875. 875, 870 here. $850, so, 9, do something. What's the D20 all right? $2, what you say? Compare. All right, there it is. Somebody give me about, how much? $800. That's all what's up. $800, $400. I got 2. 2 and a quarter. 2 and a quarter, and a quarter, quarter, 250. He's 2 and a quarter. Got a high, that's 75. 275, 300, and a quarter. A quarter, now high, 40 and a half. He's a quarter, very high. 75, and a quarter, on 74, and a quarter. A quarter, now high, 40, 50. Then a 50, you're gonna go 54 and a quarter, 450, 15, and 75, $500. 475, 5, not quarter. And if we require he's on the quarter, I'm a 5 and a half, 550. Then the 15 and 75, you're gonna go 75, 75, I'll have it here, 75 in here, and now 6. How about 6, 600, you're gonna 600, 600, 600 and a quarter. I got 6 outside, yes sir, 6 and a quarter. How about a half, now 75, we're gonna go 75. These 6 and a half here, 75, not 7. How about 7, we're gonna go 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 sort of thing. 675 to number 6, right? There we go, number 38, 95, here. I tell you what, we're gonna let down how much? Two. I got two and a quarter here, the Kimber card. How about two and a quarter half, now 75, now three, now a quarter, now half. How about half here, 75, now a quarter, now a quarter, now half, 75, five, now a quarter. And I have to go to 75, I gotta go 75, each time and a half. How about 5, 70, 75, six, now a quarter. And a half, 75, give me 675. How about 75, six and a half, 675, now seven, and a quarter. And a quarter, seven's over here, seven a quarter. I'm at seven a quarter, and a half, 750. And a 50, seven a quarter, right here, 750, and gonna go 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, and we sort of thing, so we want, slow, sort of thing. Seven and a quarter, and we're gonna put them on number 148. Oh, right there, 148. There you go. 659, there's a 14. These songs and all of the car. Options tonight. Okay? And here we go, guys. And quarter of the minutes to the road in those long times. How about five? How about five? How about a half? How about a quarter? How about a half? 75. How about 75, six? $600. 6, quarter. What? And a quarter, 6 and a 50, 6 and a quarter here, half here, 75. And 7 and a quarter, and a half, 75. 75, 7 and a half, 75. 8, now quarters and a half, 75, 9, 8, I got 9 and a quarter, I got 75. And 1,000 and a half, now 11 and a half, and 12. How about 12, now half, 13 and a half, and 14 and a half, and a half, 14, 15, 15. How about 15, give me half, now 16. How about 16, money's right here, 15 and a half, 16. I got 15, 116. How about a half again? Money's up top. Got a half right there. 17. How about 17? Money's 16 and a half. It's 17. 17. How about a half? 17 and a half. How about a half? Give me a half. What do you say? 17. How about 15? And we have silver pen right there. For 17 and 109. I'm 40. I'm 40 years old. And there's 40 card. There's an 02, 4, that's 15, right? Nice. Little scratch on the back end, but you can fix it. Maybe fine, what are you gonna do here? Pound 10, 3 and a quarter half. I got a 170 pound, I got 375. How about 75 there? Take a what? 375, 75, 4 and a quarter. And a quarter, it's over here, 4 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, quarter, down here we have 1 a quarter and a half, 75, 475, and 5 and a quarter. How about a quarter here? Money's over here at 5, 5 a quarter. How about 5 and a quarter, 5 and a quarter, and a quarter down here we have sold. That's $500. Let's put them on number 4, right? 1, there's a 15, he's on first card, right? 30 bucks a piece, who about I got down the middle, time to go. That's 3 and a quarter. How about 3 and a quarter and a half? No, 75. We're gonna go 75. Straight out, 75, 4. And a quarter, so 75 and a half. 450, 75. We're gonna go 75. 5 and a half, 75, 6 and a half. How about a half? And now 7 and a half. Now and a half, and 7 here. 7 and a half here. 8 and a half, and 9. But 9, we're gonna go 9, 8 and a half here, 9. We got 75, no 9. 9, not quarter. That's all, a quarter, half. How about a half? He's down a quarter here, 9 and a half. A half, okay. Now 75, we're gonna go 975, 9 and a half here, 975, 9 pounds. And a thousand. And a time to go, 1 time to go, 1 time to go here, 1 time to go, 1 time to go, and we have solar tank for 975. And on the buyer, come on up here. Some of the buyer. Right, to go on that. Here, how about so I got 3 okay now quarter. How about 3 and a quarter and a quarter here, 3 and a quarter and a quarter and a half here. We said that. How about 2 and a half, 75, 400. How about 4? You're gonna get 4, you're gonna get 4. 400. How about $400 soda tank? 375, 100. 43. Here comes a 25. It's up. And now salvage title, what do you do? I got about two to the party. How about two to the quarter, now, 250, I do. How about 250, give me half, quarter, half, 75. And three. How about three, 275, three, and a quarter, on seven, three, you take a quarter, half, 175. 75, 493, 75, four, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a half, 450, 75. How about 75, and a half, 500, and a quarter, 525. How about quarter, five and a quarter, and a half, five and a half, now 75. How about 75, gonna go 75, 75. Then now six, now a quarter. How about six and a quarter? And now a half, now 75, 675. How about 75? Seven and a quarter. And a quarter, seven, so we're there, seven and a quarter, all quarter, and a half. How about a half up here, seven and a quarter. How about 715? Gonna go 50, 15, gonna go 50, right here. 68, liar. Alrighty, fine. Four. There's a location, right? And then $80 to the pizza here now. What about 800? 800 bucks, 400 bucks on that. I got three, okay, 9 and a quarter. How much will you quarter, 15, you go 50, 15, 75, four. And that's what we do, you need quarter, so yes or no? Quarter half, and 75, five and a quarter. And a quarter grams, I got five here, five and a half, now six, now a half. Now seven. How about seven? You go seven? No, we're going up, not down. 675, not quarter. Not quarter. I got seven here, and seven a quarter. A quarter, half. How about half? 75. 750, that's 75. How about 75? Seven and a half, 75. Now eight. How about eight? Okay. And then we need to read 107, 75, eight. No, so that's 7, 75 on mine. Now here comes it. On the next, everybody here goes wrong, 140. I'm gonna get two grand, I got 1,000 where? You know? 1,000, 11. How about 11, go 11 here, 11, 12 here, 12 around, 13, 14, 15, and 16, and 17, gonna go 17, 18, 19, 2 grand. I'm not going to go now, 1, here, half down, 1, and 1, 20, 50, 21, now, and 21 and a half, now 2, and a half, and 3, and a half, and 4, and a half, and a half, 48 and a half, 9 and a half, 3, 31, 2, 34. I'm at 34, the old beach, 33, 4, 5. I'm at 35, 34, 35, 6. 36. How about 36 and another? Are you ready? 6, 7. How about 7 there? 36 here. Yes, sir. How about 7? 7. Okay. Now 8. 8. Now 9. How about 9? 38 on site. 39. How about 39? 39. Okay, first, yeah. 39. 4 grand. 4 grand. And 1. I got 4 grand on site right here. 41. 41, 2. How about 2? There's 41. 42. How about 42? We're gonna get 2. We're gonna get 200 here on the summertime. It's 41 online, 41 online. Number 46. Maybe on the fourth line, right? 4 on. What do we do here? 800. That'll work. Give me a quarter. I got 3, 3 a quarter in the quarter here. And 1 quarter half. How about a half? Here's a quarter, got a half, 75, 275. 30, 75, 3.5 here. How about 30, 75, 75, 400. How about 400, not quarter. How about 40, 40 up here, 40, 40, and a quarter, and a quarter down here, the half, quarter half. How about a half, each quarter half. How about a half? A half, 75, 75, 475. How about 475, 75 here, so a 10. That's 450, another 6 buyer. 19 on the 5th. Yeah, on the next side, here, how about 6. I'm at 16, you're gonna go 600, 600, here is 7, you're gonna go 7, now 8, 9, 900, 1,000. And 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 16, 17, 18, and 19, 2 grand. How much you're gonna go? 19 there, give me 2, give me half, 19 and a half, half, now 2, now half. How about a half? I got $2,000. How about 2,050, 15, 1, 15, gonna go 50 here, you got it, now 2, now half. How about 20, and a half, now 3, now half, 23, 50. And that's 15, you're gonna go 50, 15, now 4, 4, not 15, now I got 24 there. 24 and a half, 24 and a half, 25 and a half. Number 25 and a half, 25 here, 25, 50. And a 15, no savings, 26, not 50. And a 15, gonna go 50, 50, 26, another 50 now, 7 now, 15, gonna go 50, 27 and a half. How about 27 and a half, 27 there. How about 27, another 15, gonna go 50, 57, 4, 2700, 2700. What's enough, what? Four up there, 159, 159 is small. And then there you go, let's see, we got, I got two, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a half. I got 250, 50, 75, gonna go 75, 2 and a half there. How about 275, 300? How about 300, 3, 2, gonna go 3, gonna go 3, 3, and the 3, and the 3, here, and I. So we're paying for 275, number 89, that's a, right, for, so the round is here. How about they he said, hey, 3 and a quarter. I got 3 already, 3 and a quarter. Quarter, you want a quarter? And a quarter and a half, 3, 15, gonna go 50, 50, 350 here for the whole car. No 75, 4, not quarter. And a quarter for, yeah, a quarter, now half. And a half, each one a quarter, and 75, 500. How about 5, we're gonna go 5, 5, now a quarter, on the side of 5, not a quarter. A quarter, now 75. How about 75? We're gonna go 575, each time we have here. How about 575? We're gonna go 75, 75, and then we sort of come up here. At 5, I put them on number, what's it? Hey guys, hey, look at, it's another one here. Come on, look at 50. I got 36, I had it. Zero, not too far, zero. $500. I got $500, 2, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, quarter and a half. How about a half? Each 2 and a quarter, 2 and a half, no 75, 3. How about 3, I'm gonna get 300, and a quarter, 400, and a half, 3, 50. And a 15, and 75, $400, and a 4, not quarter, 425. I got 4 here, 4 and a quarter, and a quarter, 25, I'm gonna go 425, and we 710. That's $400, number 6 is buy, here's car, it's almost 7. All right, it goes, 493, 80 bucks and 50 now. Anyway, how about 800 bucks? 5, 6, 7, here goes 7, half, 7. How about 7 here, half, now 8, now half, and a half, and a half, 9, and a half, 1,000, and a half. And a half, and it's over here, 10 and a half, 11, 11 and a half, and 12 and a half, and 13 and a half, and a half, I got 13 back here, 13 and a half, all right, 14 and a half, 15 and a half, and 16, here we go 16 and a half, 17, roll. How about 17, money's here, 16 and a half, 17 and a half, now half, 18, 18, I can't take quarters now, 18 and a half. I do, I got 18 right there. 18 and a half. 18, how about 15? Gonna go 50, 15, gonna go 50, 50, 19, 19, 19, 18 and a half. How about 19? Gonna go 19, 1900, and we have silver thing, 1850 online, all right, thank you. 52, so steamer. Time out. All right, what are you saying now? Three and a quarter. I'm a third and a quarter and a half, 350, 50, 75, 75, 40, 400, quarter and a half, 75, and 5. I'm a 5 and a quarter, quarter and a half over here, 50, by 50 each on the quarter. I'm a 5 50, 50, you got 50, and 75, 6 and a quarter, outside at 6. I'm at 6 and a quarter, yes, sir. I got 6 here, I need a quarter, I'll quarter, a half, 75, and 7. I'm at 7, we go 7, 7 here, 7, wait, we're gonna go 7, this is. And 7, 7 here, we have silver came up there. 675, number 8 is here. Car. And what do you do with 5? 2 to the quarter. How much to the quarter and the quarter here, to the quarter and a half, where to 50? And 75, 3, 3, not 4, 75. 30, 75, 4, 400, and a quarter, 47. I'm at 4 and a quarter and a half, and 75. I'm at 75, I'm 4 and a half over here. 75, 5, that's outside, and a quarter. I'm at 5 and a quarter, this here, 5 and a quarter. I'm at 5 and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter here, we have, what up there? For $500, and the 54. Come on. I'm a truck. Stay the ride. Let's see here.
Are you drinking more often, sir? It's on my agenda.
I'm at the Tacoma truck at 20,000. And how about down to go? What do you recommend? How about 5, 6, 7, 8? How about down half? Now 8 and a half and 9. How about down here? Now half, now 1,000, now half, now 11. How about 11 here? 7 and a half here. I need 11. He said that. How about 11 here? 11 and a half, 12. How about 12? 75, not 12. 11, 75. And 12, and a quarter, guys. Quarter, and a half, and we have 75. How about 75? 75, 13. How about 13? 13, all 75, 13, and a quarter, up here, 13, I need a quarter. How about quarter, and a quarter, and a half, and 75. How about 75? A half right here. How about 75? 75, 14. 9, 14, and a quarter. And a quarter, this is 14, yes, sir. 14 over here. A quarter, 2 percent up. 14, a quarter, and a half. How about a half? That's 75. How about 75? 2 percent off again. How about 14, 75? They were 75, 75, 75, and we have 15. How about 15, 15, 3 percent back. 14, 75, 15. How about 15? 15 will be sold right there. 1475 online. Our years next 5. That's an 06. It's a 4. 59. 400. Here, what do you say? Straight, not this straight. Yeah. All right, fine. I get down 3, 4. Get down 4 and a quarter and a half, 75. And 5, 500 and a half, and we have quarter half. Other half, 75, no 6, and a quarter and a half, no 75. 75, 7, and a quarter, quarter and a half. How about a half? Half like this, 75, 75 each, and a quarter and a half, and a half, and a quarter and a half. And 75 is 75, 9, and a quarter. And a quarter, I got 9 here, need a quarter. I'm a quarter, you're gonna miss your turn if you keep looking at your phone. I'm a 9 a quarter, and a quarter, and we saw the thing over here. For $900. $900, we got a Texas number there, 26. Here's some higher, here's number 57. Here we go. Here's a 156, sorry. I had to write it down. Yeah, it is 96 geometric, sorry. I'm just going to order down a sheet here. Had to write that one in at the bottom. Okay, fine. First mistake I made all year. Yeah, okay. See, 3, 3 and a half, 4, 75, 4, and a quarter. How about a quarter? 4, 4, 0, how about a quarter? And a half, 450. He's just, four and a half. How about 450, solar tank, 425.
Number
Then it goes to
6.
number 6, 425. We'll put them right here, not 957. There's a few times in my trouble, there. Okay, there it is. We're doing how many I got 30 recorder, I'm a half, and 75, I'm gonna go 75, and a 4, and a quarter, and a quarter, I got 4 back here, 45, and a 75, and a 5, 500, and a quarter, and a half, and a 50 guys. I'm a quarter, I'm a half, and you say, I'm a 50, and you say the same. 4, 5, and 4, and 60, right, number 50, here comes an all time, contribute. Should we go on here, do we put that on? Quarter half. How about 350? He's a quarter here, a half where? How about 350? Gonna go 50, 50, 350, 350, 50, and 75, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a half. How about a half? 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half. I got a half, and a 75, and a 5. How about 500? No, 500. How about 500, 500, 500, 500, here, and a quarter, and a half, or 75? How about 75? We're gonna go 575, each, 5 and a half. How about 75? We're gonna go 75, 75, and I'm solar tank. 550, put them on number 8, 550, or 59, over 3 miles. On the Chevy Suburban here. And let's see what we got here. Hey, there it is. Take that up, 3 and a quarter. How much 3 and a quarter? 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half, 350, gonna go 50. How about a 50, 50, 350, 75, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a half. I got a quarter here, a half here, 75, and a 500, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a half, a 75, and a 75, and a 6. How about 6, 600? How about 6? 970 on the site, 6. How about 6 and a number? 606, and a quarter, 6 and a quarter, and a half. How about a half? On site again, 6 and a quarter, 6 and a half. How about 650? We're gonna go 50, 50, gonna go 50, 50, 50, and we have something with the back. For 625, 625. Now, circle the number. Numbers. 195. 60. Here comes an 04. Hey, we got 4 extra. What are we gonna say here? That'll get 5, 5 and a half, 6. How about 6 and about 10 and a half, here, 50, 50, and 7, 7, 50, we're gonna go 50, 50, now, 800. And each, 7 and a half, 8, here, 8 and a half. How about a half, 50, I got 8 outside, 8 and a half, how about a quarter? How about quarter, the quarter, there, quarter, now half, that's 75, we're gonna go 875, 8 and a half. 875, we go 875, 900. How about 9, you move on. How about 9, now quarter, sure, 9 cheers, and a quarter. How about 9 quarter, okay, 950, now a quarter here. How about 950, you're gonna go 50, 50, 50, and we super thing for 925 on mine, there's 69. There's another 2, right? And let's see here, guys. Every time I got 2 and a quarter. How about 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, and a half. And 75, 300, not 3, 3 and a quarter, and a half. I got a half, now 75, I gotta go 75, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a quarter, over here, and a half, and 75, and 5, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a half, and a half, 50, and a 50, and a quarter, and 75, and 6, 600. How about 6? 570 on the line. 6. How about 6? Here's all. How about 6? One shoulder right here. 575 on the line. One right here. Number 62. All right, 4 and a half minutes. Sugar line here. I got that 3 and a quarter. A quarter half. I'm gonna have 75, 1 4. How about 4? You're gonna go 400 and a quarter, and a half, here, and 75. And now 5, 500, and a quarter, and a half, and 75. And 6 and a quarter, 6 up here, half here, now 7, now half. and a half, give me half, quarter half, 7.5, and a half, but we sit over here. But 750, 75, now we need 800, now you're off. But 800, 800, how about we need 800, now we summertime. 4775, I'm gonna go on, here we go, turn the page, number 62. Here we go, this one here is a 2013, it costs that, right, okay? Then what are you gonna pay them now, $80 for the pizza, kid goes on, quarter, how many pounds size? Are you gonna give me pound size, 1,000, deep? What do you mean?
I got five.
I got five, 6.5, and 7.5, and 8, 14. And now he's 7.5 of that, I got 8 there, 8.5. Half on line, 9 there, 9.5, now 1,000, now 1/2, now 11, now 1/2, now 12, and 12, he's 11.5 over here. How about 12, how about 75, 75, not 12 here, not quarter, and a half, 75, 13, a quarter, and a half, he's a quarter over here. How about 13, how about 50, 50, now 75, 14, now quarter. And a quarter here, half, now 75, now 15, half, and 16, let me use online, 15 and a half, 16, you guys are all off. How about 16 right there, I can't take quarters, got a half.
16, correct?
And a half, 17, I got 17 on this side. 17 and a half. How about half times, I got 17 over here. How about 17, how about 50, right there, 18, we're gonna go 18. How about 18, now 18, 50, 50, we're gonna go, come on, 18 and a half, I got 18. 18, how about 50, then we're gonna sell time. For $1,800. 14, please. There we go, number 6. On the end of the before guys, all right, 4.5 minutes, so they're around here, somebody give me what, okay, fine, what's that part of that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. No problem, first mistake you made all year. All right, here we go, $1,000. Yeah, that's the first one. 85, $500. How about $500, he said, please, we're gonna have 4, you want 4? How about $400? $400, 4.5, not 5.5, 5.5, I got 5 on this side.
Five and a quarter?
5 and a quarter, that'll work, 5.5, 5.5, 5 and a quarter is on the line. How about 550, 50, no, so the thing.
5 and a quarter.
5 and a quarter, number 6. Next car is number 65, number 17. Right, automatically, for this year. It is, it's another. Hey, you're gonna give me about, how much? You got 2 grand? 2 grand, 21. How about 21, 22, now 3, I'm gonna go 3, 23. How about 3, he's 22, 23, now 5, now 3, now 5, now 4, and a half, and 5, and a half, and 6, and a half, 7, and a half, and a half, and 800, now 8. You got a half?
27.50 on.
Okay, 8.5. And a half here, now 3, no, 31. This one's set. No 2, 32, 33. How about 33? Mom's over here. 32, 33, 34, 35. How about 35 now? 36, 37. How about 37, 38, now 9, we're gonna go 9, 39. And 4 grand, 41, we're gonna go 1, now 2, 42, 3. How about 43, 43, now 4, 44, 5. How about 45, 45 another, now 46 and 7. How about 47, now 48 and 9, we're gonna go 9, 49. How about 49, now 5 grand, 51. And 51 another, 51, 52, now 3, we're gonna go 3, 53 another. 53, 54, 55, 55, 55, 56. Now 56. 56, 55 here, 6 here, 7. How about 57? We're gonna go 7, 57, and 80, 58, 59. How about 59, 59, $6,000, 61. How about 61? We're gonna go 1, down, 2, 6, 2, 6, 3. How about 63? We're gonna go 3, 3, 2, down, 3, down, 3, down, 4, and 4, down, 5. Then we're back on site, 64, 65, everybody's off. About $6,500 something like that. At $6,400, number four, 66,000, four, 50. Leaving on the key charge here now, somebody, I got three and a half. I got 350, 50, 75, over 200, not 40, no hand, 75. And five, and a half, and six, and a half, and seven, and a half, and eight. You're eight. I got, you at 7.5. I need 8. You want 8? Are you ready? 75. Okay, fine. 8. Now a quarter. Now a half. How about a half? You're in a quarter. 8 and a half. 8, another 50, 50, 50, no 75, we go 75, 9, and we're down in a quarter. And a quarter, 925 now, 9.5, 75,000, and a half. How about a half? Using it 10, 10 and a half, in the quarter. How about 10 and a quarter, and a quarter, quarter, and a half, and a 75, 10 and a half right here. I got 75, 11, 11, and a quarter. And a quarter, 11's over here, 11 and a quarter. 40 and a half, 11 and 50. Then at 50, that should put your phones in your pockets. How about 50, not 50, 50, 50, not 75?
You're at 1150, correct?
You say 75, 12. How about 12, not quarter? How about 40 and a half,
Yeah, 12 and a quarter. You need better? I do have better. I'm out, guys. Gotta finish the battery.
Okay, really good. It works when you got good manners. Okay.
Yeah, 12 and a quarter.
12 and a quarter, 12 and a half. How about 1250, 50, you gotta go 50, 50, 1250, hit her up, a half, 175. I got a half right here in the front row. 1275. How about 1275, 75, 75, 75. Here we have sort of one right there. For Kyle, 50, and he has number, what's your number there? 58. 58 is all right, fine. Thank you. Number 67. Two 75, three, a quarter here, three, 15, no 75. 375, four, a quarter, no half, for 50. And 50, 50, we go 50, 50, 50, 450, we, 75, 5, a quarter. Half, quarter, half. 75, 6, hands up. How about 6? I get 6, and a quarter, and a half. How about a half? 75. I got 6.5 there, 675. How about 75? You got a help on that? 75, the curl, 75? 675. 7. How about 7? Yes, sir. 7 and a quarter, and a half, 75. I got 75, 8 and a quarter, and a half, and 75. How about 75, 9 and a quarter, and a half. How about a half, and a half, and a half, 75,000, 1,000, and a half, and 11, and a half. A quarter, and a half, 75, 400 here, and that's all, that's like a lease. 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half. I got 12 and a quarter here, a half here, 75 and 13. How about 13, not quarter here, and a half, 13, how about 50? And 15, no 75, 75, 14, you're gonna get 14, now quarter, now half. How about a half, and 75, then 15, we're gonna go 15. How about 15, we're gonna go 15, and a half, 15, 50, 16. How about 16, we're gonna be 16, now half, give me half, and 17. How about 17, now half, 17 and 50, 17, 17 and a half, and 18. How about 18, we're gonna go 18 and a half, 19, you both up. How about 19, 18 and a half, 19 outside, no half. How about a half, 19, 50, now 2, do that. How about 2, now half, 2050. And 15, we're gonna go 50, 15, we're gonna go 15, 15, bomb, 100, 21, 50. How about 21 and a half, 21 over here, 21, 50, right here, now 2. How about you, come on guys, you're good like a winner, you know that? 22, now half. How about I got 22, 22 and a half. How about 22 and a half here, 3 now half. How about 23, 15, we're gonna go 50, 54, 24, 24, 50. How about 2450? And now 25, give it a 25, 4.5, go 5, no, sort of thing. At 2450 online, right, here we go. Pull the foot, good, put your finger in your pocket, put your finger in your pocket, that's good, that's good. Here, see, there's a little 5, that's sugar line here, for about 800, how about making about 3 and a quarter? I got 3 and a half, 350. And the 50, we're gonna go 350, 3 and a quarter, 75, we're gonna go 375. How about 375, we're gonna go 375, what do you say? How about 375, 75, silver thing, 350, number 6, here's time card, we'll find infinity, that's 55, we'll find that. Straight line here, we're gonna do you guys, 800. 5.5, and 6.5, and 7, number 7. Like I said, 7.5, and 8. How about 8.5, and 9.5? How about a half, 11.5, 9's over here, 11.5. How about a 50, quarter, and a half, and a 75, and 1,000, and a quarter, and a half. How about a half, 50, and 75, 75, 75, and 11, and a quarter. And a quarter, 18 and a half, and 75, and a 12. About 12, and a quarter, 12, and a quarter, 12 is over here. About quarter online, now half. Now half, 75, 13. About 13, 13, and a quarter, and a half. I got a half, 13.50. You're watching your phone instead of watching me. Sometimes that makes it hard for you. 13.75?
I got 1350 online.
I got a half online, 75, no, sold at 10. 1350 online, okay? Okay. Here we go. This card number 7, here comes the whole here. Hey, we're gonna 175 guys, all right? We'll stretch the front, we'll stretch the back too. All right, fine, give me $5. She said, two the card. And a hand, wait, 50, 50, 75, 3. How about 3 here? 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter, 3 and a quarter, 3 here, quarter here, halfway now, 75. How about 75? Yes, sir. How about 375, guys? How about 375, $400 and a quarter, 425, and a quarter here. How about 4 and a quarter and a quarter here, quarter, half, 75. How about 75? You're gonna go 475, no 500 and a quarter. How about quarter? I got 5 over here, 5 and a quarter right here, now 5.5. 5.5, 5 over here, 5.5, 5.5, and we sort of thing. I'm not gonna quarter on the line. Here's the next one, 7107 model. Let's see what number, guys. Let's see here. There it is. I rated time, how much? 2 grand? Was me? Quinientos. 6.
You got 5?
I got 5, 6. How about 6? How about 6 and a half? 5.5, 6 and a half, and 7 and a half, and 8 and a half. And 109, 11 and a half. How about 100 beer, 12 beer, half beer, 13 is not ready. I got 13, 14, now half, and 15 and a half, 16 and a half, 17. How about 17, 17, got 17?
Yes, sir.
And a half, 17 and a half, guys. How about a half, now 18? How about 18?
17 and a half.
That's it, 18 and a half. 19. How about 19? I got 18 and a half on site, 19 online, now half, now 2 grand. How about 2 grand? What's all this for? I don't know what it is. How about 2 grand, and a half, and 1, 2 grand right there, sitting down, 21. I got 20, 50, 21, yeah, I got you 20, 50, 21 online, now half. How about 21 and a half? There you guys go. How about 21, 50, now 2. How about 22? He's 21 and a half over here, 22. How about 22? Not 22, 2 and a half. How about 20? Come on, guys, you're looking like old ladies again. 22, how about 50, 23, and that's 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, 23, he's here. How about 23, how about 50, and that's 50, you're gonna be super fan. 2,300 online, no big thing, but they do something here. There we go, and I can read expedition back, so I'm on the sugar the money, those Jones, and take the copies out. I got 5, 5 above, 5, 4, now 5. I got five over here, give me half, 4.5. I got four ready, 4.5, quarter. I got a quarter and a half, 4.5 is 75. How much 75, 75, $500 in my quarter, quarter here, pound a quarter, and we found a half, where do you go? Half, now 75. What's 75? How about 75? One is 5.5, 5, 75, and 9, something like that. At 5, 50, number 8 is higher here, 73, 9, pressure, that's one. I mean, that's what I'm on the $800. I get 3 to 3 to 4 here. I get 3 to 3 to 4 to 50. I'm gonna 50, 53 to 4, 350, you're gonna go 50, 50, 350 now, 75, 4. I'm up 400, B4. I'm up over here, 75, over here, we have everything. 30, 75, number 4, over here is number 74. Alright. Yeah. See what you get. Now, if I notice it's a strip job, no doors, not much to do. All right, here we go. Here we $5, 5.5, 6. How about 6.5? And 7.5. How about 100, 50, 50, now 80, 80, now 15, gonna go 50, 50, now 50, now 9, now 50, now $1,000. How about 1,000 now half? How about half? 1,000 here, half here, 11. 11? How about 11 here, we take the half, 11, 11, now half here, 11, 50, now pound, and 150. And 13, you're gonna go 13, 2 grand, 20 and a half. And I got two. I got 2 grand, 3 times 15, you're gonna go 50, 50, 50, yes, no less. 15, 1, 1, 20, 50, 21, 25, 26. 26, 25 here, 26. How about 26? 5.5, 6, 3, 31. I got 3 grand, 31, you're gonna go 1, 31, 31, 32, 32, 31. 35, 36. How about 36? I do. How about 36? How about 36? All right. 36, 37. You're gonna go 7. 4 grand, 41. How about 41? You're gonna go 100 and then 1 here. I got 4 grand. 41, 2, 3, 4. 44, 45, 46. I'm gonna go 45 here, 46. Now here's sitting on the show. How about 46? Another 46? 5, 51. I got 5 grand, 51. How about 51? How about 51? 52. 52, 53. How about 53? Big person up. How about 53? 52's online. 53, silver tank. $5,200. Oops, first off that one. Online. All right, here we go, number 75, hold 3. Here it is, what do you say? Let's see here. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, fine. Here we go. I think we get 500 too, 2 and a quarter. How about 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, here. How about 2 and a quarter, 2 and a quarter, we're now on the $200 now, we're on the 6 tomorrow. All 7, 6, all right, guys. Make it about 5. We'll get $5, 3, 3 and a quarter. How about 3 and a quarter, 3 and a half? How about 300, 50, 50, get about 50, 75, 400 now, quarter now, half. 75, 85, 0, 5, now 6. How about 6 now, half, now 7, get about 7 now, half. And 8, 9 here now, half, and 9. 9, what? How about 9 now, half, here, 50, 50, right here now, $1,000 now, half. How about half? You see what? And I found it at 50 pounds here, 50, how about quarter, how about 10, quarter here, you saw the tank. Oh, 1,000 even, number 8, higher here, 77, now 15, he's on the, there. Right, here we go, 1,000. I got that, you're 5.5. How about 5.5? 5.5, pay a quarter, half, 75, 6, 6, and a quarter. How about quarter and a half? 75, 7 and a half. And 8 and a half, and 9 and a half. And a half, 9's over there, 9 and a half. How about a quarter? Now, half. That's 75. And 75, 1,000, no hand, no heaven, no hand, 50, no palm. And 50, you're gonna go 50, 50, 50, falls over there, 12 and a half. 75, 13 and a half, and 14. How about 14, maybe 14, 13 over here. How about 14, 75, you're gonna go 75, a nice solar tank. At 13, 50, what about 4, 78. That's this is right, all right? Somebody get my 1,000. Now, here go 5. How about 3, 3 and a half, and 4. How about 4? 75, 4, 4, and a quarter. And I go over here, go over hand over here, 75, here go 75, 500, and a quarter. And I go over that quarter right here, a hand, 75. I'm at 75, here go 75, now 600, and a quarter. And I go over 625, and a hand, now 75. I'm at 75, now 700, and a quarter. And I go over that quarter, here, 7 quarter, and a half, 75. 75, $800, 9775. How about 800, 800, and we have some of them, 775, number 6 is not there either, so it's a good thing. I didn't give you about how much. We got two, quarter half. How much you gonna go 50, 2 and a quarter, 2 for 3, 75, $300, 3, you're gonna go 3, 275, 3, a quarter now, half. How about a half, 3 and a quarter, on site, 350 here now, 75, 4. How about $400 and a 4? How about 4? How about $400, 400, not 3 quarter and a half, for 50. And 50, you're gonna go 50, not 75, not 500, not 5. How about $500, 500, now quarter here, now quarter, 5 and a quarter. I got a half, now 75, 6. How about 6, $600, now quarter, and a half, 650. 50 now, 75, 700. I got 7, 75 over here. But 7, we're gonna go 7, we're gonna go 7, we're gonna go 7 here, 8 half, so I can. 675, number 4, now you're here. Here's a 96, all right, guys, so we'll give you 100. How about they get about 400? We said we get a quarter. How about a 3, we get a quarter and a half, is 75. How about 75, 75, 4, good 4. And a 4, 3, 75, 4, 400. How about 4 here, we sold a tank. 375, number 6, 1, 6, 9. How about 2, 2 how about 2 and a half, 250 and a half? And a hundred here now, 75 here, 3. How about 10 here, now, quarter over here, a half over here, 75, quarter, 1, quarter and a half. How about 100 here, 75, 5. And now, quarter, now, half, 75, and 6 and a half. And 7 and a half, 7 and a half, and 8 and a half, and 9. How about 9 now, and 950 here, quarter. I get 9 up here. But 9 and a quarter, and a quarter here, 25, I'm gonna go 25, 8 and a half. And a half, we'll be jumped in, 9 and a quarter, 9 and a half. How about a 50, 50, 50, no, so 9 and 25 on 32, well, so there's a 9 here, what about 800, 50, 50, 50, 250, 2 and a quarter, half an ounce, 75, 3 and a quarter. And a quarter pound, 350, he's a quarter pound here, 75, and 4. How about 400, even 4, and a quarter, and a half, and 75, and 5, and a quarter, and a quarter, and a half, and a half, and a quarter here, 75, 6, and a quarter, and a half, and now 75. And 7. How about 7? Now quarter. I have 7 here, quarter here. Quarter. Now 750. And a 50. We're going to go 50, 50, 50, 50, and we have 75. How about 75? We'll push something. 75, 8. 800. 8. Now quarter. And a quarter. 8. 8 and a quarter. 825. How about every 25, get a hand here, 50, 50, that's 6, 50, 75. How about every 75, every 75? How about every 75, 9, 100, 900, how about 900, 925? How about 925? We're gonna go 925. You're all bit like old babies, you know that? Sober time at $900 online, right? Here we go. 83, here's a I think I tried to put that one back together. I've got two required. I've got two recorder, two recorder, two recorder, two recorder, recorder, two recorder, then we have sober time.
There's two. I've got $200 by Richard.
Yes, sober time.
I'm not quite sure what he's doing.
$100 into 6.
It's $200 to number 6.
Yeah. All right, here's number 84. Here comes the BMW. And somebody gives me $500. A quarter half. I got a hand being 50, 15, I got 350, what do you say? You bring the quarter. How about 350, 350, 50 now, 75, 4. How about 40, 40 now, 40 now, hand 40, 50. And a 50, 50, 75, 5. How about $500 now, quarter, and a half, now, 75, 6. And a quarter. And a quarter, and a quarter, 6 up here, quarter, half here, 50. And a 50, 50, gonna go 56, 50. 650, 650, 52 per shot. Now 75, 7. How about 7, you're gonna go 7, and a quarter here and half. How about 7 and a half? Check. Quarter and a half, 75. 8. I have 75. 800, now 8. And a quarter, 25, 50. And a 15, gonna go 50, 50 now, 75, 9. How about 9 here now, quarter in the hand, here, 15, gonna go 50, 75 pounds and $1. How about time to go? Come on, babies, let's go. How about time to go? 1,000 down here. We have silver tank. 975. 4, right here. 84. Okay. Here's 85. Here's another thing. The transfer, we say that. 2. You want 3? 3 to quarter, 3 and a half, 75. 3, 75, 4, now quarter, now half. 4 and a half, 4, 75, and 5, and a quarter, and a half, 75. And 6, and a quarter, and a half, 675. And 7, 7, he's 675. Ready, yes or no? I can't tell what you're doing. 7, 7 and a quarter. 7 and a quarter, and a half. How about a half? 7 and a half. Money, 7 and a quarter, 750, 50, and I sort of can. 725 to 58, 725 to 58, right? You know the number you said. Yes, sir. 58, I think. All right, you're going to check on this one here now. 5, who's at 2, 2 and a quarter, 2 and a half, that's 3, 3 and a half, 4, and a half. I got a half and 5, you go 500 here, and 5 and a half, and 6, and a half, and 7. I'm at 7, so you're gonna give me 7 and a half over here, 800, and a half around here, now half, he's 8 and a quarter, half, now quarter, half, and now 75. I'm at 75, now 1,000, then 1,000, now quarter. And up over here, hand over here, 15, and go 50, 75. Yes, sir. 75, 11, 1100, and 11 and a quarter. And a quarter, give me quarter, now hand, 11 and a half. What's this one? 1150, so yes, okay. And 75, 75, and 12. About 12, with those. About 12, here, 12, now a quarter. About 12 and a quarter, need a quarter, need a half, 50. And 50, 50, you're gonna go 50, 250, 50 with the half.
I have a
You got a
quarter.
quarter, you want to go half? 12 and a half, that's 75. Sorry about that, 12 and a half here, 12, 75. How about 12, 75, 13. 13, you get this? How about 13 and a quarter? And a quarter here, leave a quarter,
13 and a quarter
down, 13, 50. And then 75, you go 75, 75, now 1400. And 14, now, quarter, here, yes, sir. About 14, a quarter in the quarter here, leave a quarter in the quarter, yes or no? About a quarter down, have 14, 50, and a 50, 50, what does he want? And 75. Other 75, yes, sir, two purses up, 1475. Silver claim on site at 1450, we'll catch his number here, number 97 by here, Dennis, thanks for coming out tonight, pay your bills, 6 stars, whatever you are. And, see you next week, okay, thank you very much.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe it was make him stop yelling for a little while. Well, sir, we did it. We usually do. Yeah.